Hi guys, it's Bo here. So it's time again for the monthly parable, which means that I am reading the same parable once a month for 6 months straight. This is the second time that I'm going to read the parable of the Good Samaritan, which you find in Luke chapter 10, verse 30 to 37. And I'll be reading from the New Revised Standard Version. Jesus replied, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell into the hands of robbers who stripped him, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a priest was going down the road, and when he saw him, he passed on the other side. So likewise a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, while traveling, came near him, and when he saw him, he was moved with pity. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, having poured oil and wine on them. Then he put him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said, 'Take care of him, and when I come back I will repay you whatever more you spent.' Which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers?" He said, "The one who showed him mercy." Jesus said to him, "Go and do likewise." So the point of this exercise is not that I should interpret it in a correct way or that there's a true or false way of reading this. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take some time now and just sit and pray and meditate upon what is this story telling me right now. What in the story is moving my heart in a way that I need to react to. Which again could be God trying to tell me something, which would be cool. So I guess what speaks to me this time when reading this parable is how the Samaritan is moved with pity, but he's not only moved, he also follows through. What happens in front of him affects his heart, it affects how he feels. And instead of just doing the absolute minimum, which would be giving the injured man a bandage or some water or something, he commits himself to follow what his heart was telling him. He was moved with pity, and he then follows through with going the whole way and taking completely care of this man. And I guess a part of me is provoked by that. I get moved with pity a lot. My heart bleeds for a lot of different people and persons and situations. But how often do I actually follow through? How often do I commit when I am moved with pity? And when I'm not committing, then there must be a reason for me not to commit. And I guess what's really is inspiring this time when reading it is how courageous the Samaritan is. Because I think it takes a lot of courage to follow through on what your heart moves you to do. It takes courage to commit yourself to putting aside your daily life, picking up a man, putting him on your donkey or whatever you have, maybe a car, taking them to an inn or a hospital, paying the people there and saying, "I will cover all expenditures." And who knows, maybe the Samaritan had an idea of what he wanted to use those 2 denarii on himself. Maybe it was this new beautiful donkey that could go with his other donkey, or maybe he was saving up for a new home or new cart, or maybe it could be a new rope or whatever. It could be anything, and the same goes for us. It takes courage to move beyond our own needs and to actually commit and risk sacrificing something that you want for the sake of someone else. So I guess that this time I am reflecting upon this whole being moved by pity and feeling inspired that I should try and commit a bit more when my heart gets moved. Maybe you watched the first time I read this parable and you had some ideas there, and maybe you have some new thoughts today. If you do, then feel free to share them down below in the comments. It would be really cool to journey with some of you during these 6 months when we take this parable. But next time will of course be in a month. Who knows what I will gain from reading this verse again at that time. May God bless your journey.